we will educate and empower individuals and corporates with premium digital skill set for the future of work. So we have one major mission in mind at the Telum, which is impact. And this is achieved by adhering to the highest service of excellence. And from our launch of our PowerBI class in 2019, we've developed and provided technical products and services to over 13,000 entities, both locally and internationally. And we are led by top-ranked professionals across industry who have brought together the diverse knowledge trends to execute the mission of impact.
Nothing.
Kindly for yes, we are talent accelerator. We are building a network of data scientists globally. We also do this by adhering to the highest service of excellence, not forgetting our watchword, our mantra, our motto, what we stand for, which is impact. So everything we do at the Telum revolves around impact. Impact is our end goal. Impact is another word for the Telum, basically. All right. So we have four major arms at the Telum. We have the Telum Academy, the Telum Intelligence, the Telum Technologies, and the Telum Alumni Women Network. So at the Telum Academy, we equip and empower individuals and corporates with digital skills for the future of work. This training session we have right now falls under the Telum Academy. And the Telum Intelligence is centered on the people we have at the Telum. So after training, we also have the talent school where we have companies who reach out to us, seeking for data analysts to work with them on their projects. We do this by building out those we have with the Telum Intelligence. The Telum Technologies is centered on the products we offer at the Telum. We have custom built solutions that can deploy your business or your organization. Think about innovative solutions. And you have those noisy engines spoil the sounds of total. So at the Telum Technologies, we have custom built solutions. At the Telum Technologies, we have custom built solutions where you can deploy to your business or your organization to bring about innovative solutions. So if you have maybe you need an app or a software where you can use to maybe track your sales, revenue, profits over time, analytically, you can reach out to us at the Telum Technologies and we'll got you covered. So at the Telum Alumni Women Network down, we've noticed the huge gap in the gender between men and women in the tech space. So we decided to bring out this initiative to tell women that you can also key into tech. You can also get into tech and enjoy the opportunities available in the tech industry. So that was why we brought in the Telum Alumni Women Network. And so far, so good. We've achieved success in this area because we've had women from alumni that hold top positions in different fields. We also had a good number of our ladies coming up in the classes we've had over the months. So this is one interesting part I like talking about anytime I'm teaching about track record over time. So we've trained over 13,000 students, passing across our different courses in data analytics, HR analytics, business analysis, and the likes. We've had global presence. We've had students from 9 countries and 52 cities worldwide. We also had top 10 corporate clients from the likes of Access Bank, Flutterwave, Pixel, IPNX, and the likes. Our watchword impact has also been forced by the number of scholarships we've given, 190 scholarships and 108 job placements and internship opportunities. So also we are the most preferred data institution in Africa. We're one of the top 25 leaders in Nigeria's technical talent industry. We've held the first Agile HR Summit in Africa, the first virtual data hackathon in Nigeria, and also we are one of the people who have built the gap in the tech space by thinking about the Telum Alumni Women Network. We've also gotten recognition from Tech Hub, Tech East Africa, and Business Week. I think at this point, we should, I should get some form of appreciation from. I should get some form of appreciation from you here the chat box. If you are playing with me up to this point, kindly drop a clapping
Our mic
emoji.
is
If you are following me up to this point, kindly drop a clapping emoji. Okay, I can see from Victor Promise. Okay, right. Thank you. All right, just to let you know, this might look so good to you, but trust me, we're just getting started, and we have a very long way to go, and we have more impact to make as well. All right, so our approach at the Talon revolves around these four areas. Firstly, we enroll you to learn with us at the Talon, and we ensure seamless onboarding of trainees. Then you also take the training with us, where we are getting the highest service of excellence. And also the training, after the training, we have the certification where you get certified. After the certification, we also place you with opportunities. Like I said in the Talon Intelligence, we have the talent to where companies reach out to us, sourcing for data analysis. So we don't just leave you hanging after the certification and training. Connect with opportunities, jobs, recommendations, and the likes. You like to upskill your field. All right, so here we have wonderful pictures from our training so far. As you can see, it's just a tiny parts of what we have in our alumni album. As you can see, two-phase commodity analysis, HR analysis, and business analysis. Not forgetting our virtual trainings as well, as you can see in the last picture. And I'm very sure after this training, we'd like us to just take a few seconds to turn on our camera and also take a video picture as well, and that's our album. All right, so if you're not following us on our social media platforms, now is the best time to do so. You can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram at the Telegram. Because we do post updates, internship opportunities, scholarships, freebies, giveaways. We do post a lot of things on our social media. And just a little tip, we're going to be giving something special to some people. So just stick to us to the end of this class so we don't miss out on that as well. And also do reach out to us on our mail, by sending a message to us at info@italium.com. Also, you can also reach us on call by dialing the numbers showing on the screen. All right, thank you so much once again for joining us in this training session. You're welcome again once again. All right, so moving forward, I'd like to introduce to us our facilitator for today. She's a seasoned expert in data analysis. She's also an HR professional and also a member of CIPM. She's also very skilled and knowledgeable in data analytics tools like Power BI, Microsoft Excel, SQL, and Tableau. She's also an active alumnus of the Talon network. She was one of our very first trainees, and from taking the training with us, she went on to become a trainer as well, which is one beautiful thing about training because you also get to impart others. Like if you want to pick on maybe join us in our trainings and also impart others, can take it as well, just like she did. And also, she's the coordinator of the Talon Alumni Women Network now. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to hand over to our facilitator for today, Titi Daniel, as she takes us on this class. All right, so over to you, Titi. If you're ready, we are ready to learn from you.
All right, thank you, Daniel. I'm very ready. Good morning, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, just kindly drop a hi in the chat session that you can hear me. Thank you, Daniel, for that introduction, and thank you to the Italium for inviting me over to take this class. It's always an exciting time for me to take the Italium class. Thank you so much for dropping that. So I know that my network is clear. Thank you very much. So I'll be sharing my screen. Daniel, kindly permit me to share my screen so that the class can start. And thank you to everyone present on this call. I usually tell people in my class that the class is free, but your data is not free. Your time also is not free because time is money, time is life. So you taking out time to attend this class, I say thank you very much. And I want to assure you that at the end of today, it's going to be worth your time. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. We'll be starting first and foremost with just a brief introduction to data analysis. Because before we go to the practical session, it's important for us to have an understanding of data analysis. We shouldn't just jump into data analysis without having adequate knowledge or understanding of what data analysis is all about. So permit me to share my screen. If you can see my screen, kindly say I can see it in the chat session so I know that you can all see my screen. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. So, all right, I want to believe everyone can see my screen. And today's class is Introduction to Data Analysis, and this is a master class. As introduced earlier, my name is Titilayo Midamiro. You can call me Titi for short. And then please feel free to unmute your mic or drop message in the chat session if you need clarification or if you want me to go back on any discussion. Our course outline for today, we are starting with what is data analysis, the core components of Power BI, task of data analyst, Microsoft Power BI, the parts of Microsoft Power BI, components of Power BI, building blocks of Power BI, advantages of Power BI, and then we'll move on to the hands-on practical session. I want to believe that the data sets for today's class has been shared with us already via email. So I'll go to the first thing on our course outline for today, which is what is data analysis. As we can all see on the screen, data analysis is a process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing conclusions, and supporting decision-making. So the process is carried out in inspecting a raw data. Now, by raw data, I mean maybe you have an information on your Excel, or you have it in Microsoft Access, whatever form you have it, or even in the cloud. So the process whereby you inspect that data, you cleanse the data, you transform the data and model it with the sole aim of discovering useful information or finding informing conclusions or finding information that will support your decision making. All that process is data analysis. The amazing thing is that most of us carry out the task of data analysis in our day-to-day job, and we really do not know that is what we are doing. Okay, for example, I'm going to share an experience with you from my past work experience. Before now, I used to work as a relationship manager, with a mortgage bank. And what do I do on a daily basis? On a daily basis, I speak to customers, I market the bank's product to them. And when they accept to buy the bank's product, I ask them for some details for me to be able to justify why the bank should give them money. So now when they approach me, I ask for their bank statements, I ask for their financial information, maybe like their pay slip. If they're into business, I can ask them for their cash flow and some other things that will support and justify the reason why we should give them a mortgage loan. So now on a daily basis, when I get this bank statement, there are times that these bank statements run into hundreds of pages, depending on the kind of transaction the customer does with the bank. So on a daily basis, when I have this information, I have to sit down to inspect the bank statement first and foremost. I have to cleanse the bank statement. I have to isolate the information I want and the one I do not want. Then I have to transform it. There are times I will need to now key in this information on Excel so that I can have a proper view of it. And this information is what I'm going to present before management to defend the customer's request for a loan. So this process of me trying to clean, inspect, transform the customer's bank statement, all I'm trying to do is to get useful information to justify if this customer has the financial capacity for the loan we are going to give. I'm very sure that you will not want to give money to somebody you cannot guarantee that is going to repay you. It's as good as dashing that person the money. So what we do is we look at the bank statement, and when we are done from the bank statement, I can now tell the bank and say, oh, from this analysis I've done on this customer's bank statement, we can afford to give this customer a 50 million naira loan, and I can guarantee that this customer is going to pay back the loan based on what I have seen on the customer's bank statement. The customer has an average net surplus of this amount. So all this activity, I'm carrying out data analysis activity, but my job title, sorry, Feromi Onifade said there is no audio in this presentation. Please kindly confirm if it's just Onifade that has that issue.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So I guess maybe it's your network, Onifade. Please kindly check your network. Thank you very much for the confirmation. So even though my job title doesn't carry data analyst, but one way or the other, I'm carrying out the task of a data analyst. So many of us, we do these things in our job role, and we really don't know this is what we do on our job role. So data analysis is as simple as that. We have the core components of data analysis, and there are 4 of them. But as you advance in your studies in data analysis, there are actually more than 4. But for this level, what you need to know is just 4. We have the descriptive, which explains what had happened. We have the diagnostic, which explains why it happened. We have the predictive that forecasts what might happen. And then we have the prescriptive that recommends an action based on the forecast. I'm still going to use the example of my banking experience with you to explain these four core components of data analysis. So now when I get a customer's bank statement and I'm looking at the statement, I'm trying to isolate the total credits and I'm also trying to look at the total debit. What I'm doing is I'm doing descriptive. So it's trying to explain what has happened on the customer's financial, on the customer's transaction. For some of us that work in the bank, you know that when you approach the bank for a loan, the bank will always ask you for at least 6 months bank statement. So when I have the 6 months bank statement and I'm looking at the total inflow, the total outflow, or the debit or the credit, I'm looking at the fees that the bank has charged. I'm looking at the customer's income, the way funds are coming into the account. I'm looking at what has happened. That is descriptive. Now, diagnostic is when I now look at that statement. For example, I realize maybe there's a huge sum of money that just came into the account. And I will begin to drill further to find out, what is this money for? I look at the narration. Is it salary? Is it a loan from another bank? I'm carrying out what is called diagnostic analysis. I'm drilling into the customer's bank statement. As you can see the picture here under diagnostic, you can see that there's someone standing in front of an X-ray. The way you go to the hospital and the doctor tells you go for further tests to go and check to know what is really wrong. So that's what you do at diagnostic analysis. You are looking at what you have checked in your descriptive to see, maybe watch out for patterns or trends or something that might be abnormal in your transaction. Then we have predictive. Now from this bank statement, when I look at the customer's inflow and I realize that, the customer can actually afford the loan, then I'm carrying out something called predictive. Because from what I have is current. I don't have income that is coming in for the next 6 months. But based on what I have, I can predict that, if this customer can have this sum of money in his account in the last 6 months, this can be sustained for the next 6 months. I'm already predicting. And based on my predictive, I can propose to the bank to say, please give these clients the money. Based on what I can see in my descriptive analysis and all the diagnostic analysis I've done, I know that if this money is given to this customer can sustain this inflow at the end of the day. So I can now predict to the bank that we can go ahead to give this client the sum of 50 million naira as loan because he can repay the loan based on the analysis I have done. Now, prescriptive, it recommends an action based on the forecast. Now, I've done a forecast and say, let's give this person 50 million based on what I can see. But if anything happens, the customer can lose his job. All the money I saw in his account that was coming in probably as monthly salary, he can lose his means of income. Nobody knew COVID was going to come. Lots of businesses had to pack up. So what do we do to forestall eventualities? I can now say, let's ask him for a security. Let's ask him for a landed property. So in case anything goes bad, we can use this property to secure our loan. We can sell off this property to repay the loan. So it's just as simple as that. So you can see how I've Now I'll be moving to the next slide that talks about the task of a data analyst. So what is the task of a data analyst? As you can see on the screen, a data analyst basically prepares data, models data, visualize data, analyzes data, and manage data. I'll be going into details of all these tasks because this is just a masterclass, so I don't bore us with too much theory. So I'll be going on to the next slide. On the next slide, you can see, you'll be asking yourself, I'm a customer service person. I work in the health sector. I work in government parastatal. I work in telecom. How relevant is data analysis to me? You can see what I have in front here on your screen. All sectors, but actually there's no sector you don't have data analysis, that you will not make use of data analysis, or you will not need a data analyst. Is it in the financial services? Is it in banking and insurance? Is it in supply chain, telecoms, health and pharma? Is it in government? I currently work with a pharmaceutical company today, and I do lots of analysis. So there's no way you will find yourself that you will not do analysis. Data is being churned out every day on a daily basis. And this data helps to give informed decision. When you're able to analyze your data, for example, as a customer service person, you're supposed to know the total number of accounts you open on a daily basis, the total number of accounts you close on a daily basis, translate that to weekly, to monthly, to quarterly, and then to yearly. You will be able to advise the bank or your institution appropriately by saying, from the analysis I'm gathering, I noticed that we close more accounts than we open more accounts. I guess there's something wrong with our banking system, or there's something wrong with our institution. And then you can begin to drill further by doing diagnostic analysis to find out what is really wrong. What is the cause of you having, closing more accounts than opening more of accounts? Because banking or whatever you are doing is about bringing in business into your organization. So if business is leaving your organization, then there's a problem. And when you come up as a customer service person to present this to management, I want to believe they would really appreciate you for doing that, for taking out time to analyze and really understand the job that you do. And then by so doing, you can provide a solution to what is causing customers to leave the organization or the institution or the banking sector. And then you can gain them back. Is it in operations and analytics? Is it in risk? Is it in HR? In all facets of the world now, data analysis is needed. And you don't have to carry that title or that role, data analyst, for you to analyze data in your day-to-day activity. So now we'll be moving on to introduction to Power BI. Power BI is an analytics tool that we use for analyzing. I know you'd have heard of so many tools. We have Microsoft Power BI, we have Excel, we have Tableau, we have a lot of tools for analysis. And today we'll be looking at data analysis using Microsoft Power BI. Microsoft Power BI is just like every other tool by Microsoft. You have Microsoft Word, you have Microsoft PowerPoint, you have Microsoft Excel, you have Microsoft Access. It's just a suite, one of the Microsoft suites that we have. It's called Microsoft Power BI. And the full meaning of the Power BI is business intelligence. That is Microsoft Power Business Intelligence. It's a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. So all this grammar we are seeing on the screen has just been represented using the picture here that you can see. Microsoft Power BI can connect to lots of sources, over 100 sources. These are just a few of the sources that we are seeing here that it can connect to. Is it cloud? Is it Microsoft Edge? Is it Access? Is it Excel? Is it SQL? Is it your MailChimp? It can connect to lots of data sources. So you might say, oh, in my organization, we don't use Microsoft Excel. Where we store our data is Microsoft Access. We are covered. Oh, we don't store our information in text form. We use CSV. We are covered because Microsoft Power BI can connect to all these sources seamlessly. And at the end of the day, it will connect to your large body of data, process it, and then give you an output, which is what you're seeing here. It will crunch all your data that you're seeing that looks like a mirage of information, and you might be confused when you see them all listed in your Excel or whatever site where you have it stored. It will just simplify all your data for you, make it easy for you to be able to read, interpret, make insights from them, and be able to make very interesting decisions that will move your organization forward or whatever you're using the analysis for. Now move on to the parts of Power BI. Under the parts of Power BI, we have 3 parts of Power BI. The first part is the Power BI Desktop. We have the Power BI Services, and then we have the Power BI Mobile. So we are all covered. I have a mobile phone. You can also download Power BI on it, which is the mobile version of Power BI. And one interesting thing about Power BI also is that when you do your work on your desktop, it doesn't just sit on your desktop alone. You can have access to it in the cloud. Anywhere you are in the world, you can have access to it through Microsoft Power BI Services, which is a cloud-based service. So after you're done with your analysis on Power BI Desktop, which I will be showing us in the hands-on session, you can publish it to the Power BI service where you can share with your colleagues, you can share with anybody, and you can also have access to it anywhere in the world. Unlike Excel, that when you do your work on Excel, if you're not with that laptop, or if you don't have it, maybe if you don't save it in a flash, you might not be able to have access to it. Microsoft Power BI, you can have access to it anytime, anywhere, real time. Now we're looking at the components of Power BI. Power BI is made up of 8 components. We have the Power Query. For those of us that are conversant with Excel, we know Power Query in Excel. We have the Power View. We have the Power BI Desktop. We have the Power BI website. We have the Power Pivot. Excel users will know about Power Pivot. We have the Power Map. We also have this on Excel. We have the Power Q&A, and then we have the Power BI mobile apps. So these are the components of Power BI. These are the things that make up Power BI. Then we have the advantages of Power BI. One of the advantages of Power BI is that it's secured report publishing. So you're not afraid of sharing reports with anybody. You're not afraid of, I have my report on a flash drive. Let me share with you. No, it's in the air. It's in the cloud. You can share it on Power BI service and grant access to who you want to grant access to. So it's secured. If you don't grant access to someone to view your reports, they cannot view the reports. Also, no memory or speed constraints, no specialized technical support required. You'll be amazed that it's just drag and drop. You don't need any technical support. You don't need your IT to come and sit down by your side to use Microsoft Power BI. All you need to do is just drag and drop. It is simple to use and it is constantly being innovated. Every now and then we have updates coming in, and they also listen. If you notice anything on Power BI when you're using it that you would like to have on the on the application, you can send a message to Microsoft and they will look into it. If it is worth having it on Microsoft Power BI, they will introduce it into Microsoft Power BI and give us an update. And also it can give you rich personalized dashboards. You can build your dashboards the way you want, personalized in ways you want to understand or in ways you want to share it with people. So these are the advantages of Power BI. And then there's also one key advantage I mentioned when I was talking about the meaning of Power BI. It can connect to hundreds of sources, different sources. It is not restricted. Whether you're using Microsoft Excel as your database in the office, or you're using SQL, you're using MySQL or Microsoft SQL, or you're using Cloud, you're using MailChimp, you're using Salesforce, whatever database you're using, Microsoft Power BI can connect to it seamlessly. So now we'll be moving on to the hands-on practical session, which I know that most of us have been waiting for. My grammar is too much, I'm talking too much. Everybody's waiting for the hands-on practical session. And then that's where we are going to next. Kindly power on your Microsoft Power BI if you have not done that, turn it on. And let's see if you're seeing the same page. If you can see the same page, kindly drop a yes in the chat session. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Nathaniel. So I'll just give us 1 minute. It doesn't take time to come up. A few seconds to 1 minute to come up. Okay, thank you. Okay, while we are doing that, we have questions here for us to answer to know if we are truly, okay, class experience questions, please. These are questions for us to answer while we are powering on our Power BI. Please feel free to participate in the poll that you can see on your screen right now. Okay, Achibong, you can't see it on yours because you just downloaded it. When you download it, just double click on it to open it. Once you open it, it will come up. We are supposed to answer the question on the poll.
I can't see any question. I can't see any question.
You can't see the poll? Okay, Daniel, please kindly assist with that. There's a complaint that they can't see the pool. All right, thank you, everyone. I want to believe you all have this screen now. So I'll be moving on to the next slide. So, okay, on this slide, when you have this screen, just kindly click on this X you're seeing. This X will help you to close that page. Kindly mute your mic if you're not muted, please. Or Daniel, please mute all those that their mics are on. Thank you. You click on this X and then it will close it. Once that is done, you will see this next screen appear. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and then I will go on to my own Microsoft Power BI so that we can walk through it together. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, Busaya, that's noted. If you want to register, you can register, it's fine. The first 60 days is free or so. We have the premium, which you have to pay for, and then we have the free version. That free version gives you access to the Microsoft Power Service for 60 days, if I'm not mistaken. Let me power on my Power BI. So you can see it's coming up. It doesn't take that long, just a few seconds to 1 minute. It will come up. Okay, this was what I was talking about, that you're going to see this screen. So you can just press on this and then you close it. And then you have your screen. Sorry, I might not be looking at the chat session too often. If you have a question, just kindly unmute, because the chat box is actually obstructing my screen. So I'm going to close it, and I might not be able to view it throughout this practical session. So if you have any question, please feel free to unmute and ask your question. So I want to believe we all have this screen now in front of us. We can all see this. This is the Power BI Desktop that I was speaking about the other time. One of the 3 parts of Power BI. This is our screen here. That's the desktop here. Please kindly drop a yes if you are here with me before I go on, so that I don't leave anyone behind. I'll just give us 1 minute for all of us to catch up with each other and be on the same page. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, forgiving. Go for one. Sean, I hope I pronounced your name right. You are forgiven. Okay, I'll just run through that. I don't know where you have your Power BI installed. If you have it on your desktop or you have it amongst in your start button, just go to your start button and scroll. Mine is arranged alphabetically. I just scroll to where I have my letter M, and then I go to Microsoft Power BI Desktop. I drop it down and I click on it, and then it opens up to this. All right, thank you. I want to believe we are all on the same page now. So as you can see on my screen here, we have add data to your reports. You can see import data from Excel, import data from SQL, paste data into a blank table, try sample data sets. So it all depends on what you want to do. I'll be starting with the first thing that we have here, get data set, and I'll drop it down. This is where you connect to your data source. Either it's in Excel, it's in Power BI data sets, it's in Power BI data flow, data vars, wherever your data set is, it can connect to it. I'm going to open more so you can see the number of data sources that Power BI can connect to. So everyone is covered in the world of data, in the world of Power BI. Whatever your database is in your organization, I want to believe that it's here listed one way or the other. And I know that most organizations are used to Excel, either or Access or SQL, either MySQL or Microsoft SQL. Even PDF, you can connect to PDF directly. You can connect to text and CSV. But for today's class, I want to believe that the data set has been shared with us already, and the data set is in Excel format. So we'll be connecting to Excel for this class. And then here, beside the get data, you can see Excel workbook. So they just brought out a few, the common sources that people use is what you can see highlighted here. So instead of me coming here to click on Excel workbook, I can just click on this part, Excel workbook directly. Or I can even come to this here, the summary that we have here, and just click on this Excel, and then I can import from Excel directly. Then you have recent sources. Recent sources are the sources you have connected to recently. So you can see on my screen here, all these sources you're seeing are the sources I've worked on recently. Masterclass data set, NCDC, sales data, 2017 crimes statistics, COVID-19, NCDC government.com, the data set. These are all the data sets I've worked on. The most recent sets I've gone to that I've used. So you can easily click on any one of this. I won't be talking about transform data because it's an advanced class. So I won't go into that. We can't even finish it in 2 hours if I go to get transform data, because it has to do with Power Query in Power BI. And that's a class on its own. And then we have new visual. Okay, before I go to new visual. By my right-hand side here, where my cursor is, I'm hovering over it. You can see it has turned to hand. It's showing visualization. You can see different types of visuals here. We have the stacked bar chart. We have the column chart. We have the clustered bar chart. We have the pie chart. We have the donuts. We have the tree map. We have the funnel. We have the waterfall. We have the line charts. We have so many different kinds of visuals here that you can work with, that you can use to visualize your data. So Power BI essentially is a tool that you use to analyze and also visualize your data for people to understand and draw insights from it. As we go on and begin to work on the data set, you will understand better. So if I click on this, it's going to appear on my desktop, on my reports page. Can you see it here? This is it here. So this is how you bring in a visual into your report. So I'm going to delete this. If I click on the donut chart, the same thing is going to appear here. I don't have any data sets yet in Power BI, so we can't do any visualization. So I'm just trying to explain the entire interface with us before we bring in the data set, so we have a better understanding of it. I'll delete it. So the same thing, this new visual, you can just click on it. It will bring a new visual for you. So either you click on your visualization here, you can select anyone here, or you click on new visual. So I'm going to delete this. Then text box is for you to be able to write a text. So I'm going to click on the text box. So let's assume I want to write a text here, maybe Detalium Master Class. So let's say after creating your visual, you want to put a title, or you want to put a label. You can do that here, just the same way you have on your Microsoft Word. You can type in, you can increase the font, you can have your underline, you can bolden it, you can use italics for it. You can also centralize, you can have the right justification, you can have left justification, you can centralize it, you can change the type of font depending on what you want to use. So it all depends on you. So that's the text box. That's what you can do with the text box. And then if you need more visuals, you can go to the app stores where you can pay. You pay for the visual if you want more. But the truth of the matter is you cannot even exhaust all that you have here, as a beginner in data analysis. So for now, just make use of what you have. And as you begin to advance and you need more visuals, you can come here to go to the app store to get more visuals. Then we have the insert here, the insert button here. You have your visual, new visuals, you have more visuals, just the way you have here, because this home is like a collection of 1 or 2 items from your inserts, your modeling, your view, and your help. That's what you have the home section for. It's just a collection of 1 or 2 items from each of this tab that we have at the top. So I'm going to click on insert. You can insert a new page, a new visual, you can get more visual, you have the key influencers. All these are kind of advanced class for Power BI. You have your text box. You can bring in your button. You can bring in a shape if you want a square shape. If you want maybe a circle, depending on what you're trying to visualize. You can also bring in images. Let's assume you want to bring in your company logo. So for me, I want to bring in the Italian logo. I just click on it, and then you'll see the logo here. That's how to import image. So I'm going to delete all this. And then we have the modeling. So what is data modeling? Data modeling basically is about creating relationship between two data sets, one or more data sets. So for example, we have two data sets, just like we have in today's class. Our data sets, we have two of it. So I'm going to show us what data modeling is all about when we get to that part. But just bear it in mind that it is creating relationship, joining two data sets together using a common factor. What is common to both of them? So let's assume we have two tables. We have the employee table that has the employee's ID, the employee's name, the employee's age. And then we have another table that is the employee salary table that also has the employee ID. You know, we have ID on salary table, we have ID on employee table. Then you can create a relationship between both of them. There must be a common factor, there must be a unifying factor, and it must be unique to both tables before you can create a relationship. That is what data modeling is all about. Then we have the view. The view is where you can change, you know, the way your desktop looks, just as the way the name is view. So if I want to change the color of my background, let's say I want something else to purple, I can change it. I can take it back. And you have a lot of options that you can work around with depending on what you're trying to do or what you're trying to work on. Then you also have the page view. You can adjust your page. You can have fit width to, to the page. You can also change it to actual size. You can have fit to page, which was what it was before. Then you can have the mobile view. This is for the Power BI mobile version. It's also an advanced class, so I won't be going into that. You can have grid lines if you want on your page. I don't have any visual here, so you can't see that. Then we have the filters, we have the bookmarks, selection, all these ones. I won't talk about that today. And then we have help. This is the help button. So for you to know the version of Power BI that you're using, just click on help and then go to about. For me, my version is August 2021. As I said earlier on, they're innovative. They keep creating new things. They keep adding new things to Power BI to make it easy and simple for people to use. So the version I have is August 2021. If you have August 2021, kindly drop a yes in the chat section. I know that we are together. If you don't have August 2021, nothing to worry about. Your Power BI is still going to work perfectly well. And if you want to update it at the end of the class, the choice is yours. It's yours to make. It doesn't affect the output of your task at all. All right, thank you. So I'll close this. Then I'll come to this part. You can see that on this part where I have my cursor is showing reports. So this is the reports page where all your analysis is being displayed. This is where your analysis will be displayed. So any visual that you create, is it pie chart? Is it donut chart? Is it tree map? Is it waterfall? Whatever the kind of visual you create, everything is going to appear on your report page. Then we have the data page. This page is blank because there's no data set. This is where you're going to see your data set. The same way you have it on Excel, it's going to show here. So when we bring in our data set, I will show us the way it's going to appear. Then here we have the model. This is where we carry out our data modeling. You can see, as I said earlier, it's creating relationship. You can see the joining. If there's no unique and common factor between these two, you will not see this mark. There will not be a relationship between them. And that means the two tables cannot interact with each other. So when we bring in the data set, we'll come back to data modeling and then we'll see how it's going to appear. Please, do we have any questions before we bring in the data sets? Any questions, please? All right, I take our silence as no question. Thank you. So now we're going to bring in the data set. I want to believe we all know where we saved our data sets. And then I'll just go to Excel workbook because I know my data set is saved in Excel or is stored in Excel. And then I look for it. No, it's a Masterclass. And then I can double click on this. This is our NCDC. Okay, sorry. Sorry, before I go there, let me open the data set and ensure that we are all on the same page, that we have the same data sets. Please kindly drop a yes if this is the data set you have. The NCDC data set. This data set was. Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Please, I can't see your screen from my phone anymore.
Please, do we have the same issue? Anybody, if you can see my Excel, can you see my Excel page? I've switched from Power BI to Excel.
Sure, can
Yes, we can see
Excel
page.
Okay,
You can
so
see
please,
Excel page.
thank you for the confirmation. Please kindly check your mobile device. Because I actually clicked, when I was sharing my screen, I clicked on it that it should share the entire, anything I'm doing on my desktop, on my laptop, you can see it. If I leave Microsoft Excel, I go to Power BI, you see it. If I go to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, you can view everything I'm doing at the same time. So
okay,
we all
thank
have,
you.
okay, maybe just log out and log in again. Okay, so I want to believe you can all see this page. This data set was pulled yesterday from the NCDC website. So we have state affected, we have the number of cases, lab confirmed, we have number of cases on admission, we have number discharged. Yes?
Yes, so
with you.
that I have is different.
The data set you have is different.
Yes, I just have states affected and I have zones.
Go to page 1, that should be page 2, that's sheet 2.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes,
All right,
click on sheet 1. All right, thank you, Sandra. So we have states affected. If it's same for everyone, please just kindly click on sheet 1. We have 2 sheets. So we have states affected, that's the 36 states in the Federation, and FCT, that's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, also on the list. Then we have number of cases that the lab confirmed, we have number of cases on admission, we have number discharged, and we have number of deaths. So sad. And then on sheet 2, we have the states affected, and then we have zones. By zones, we mean the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. Now I'm going to come back to my sheet 1. These data sets, I want to ask a question. Is it formatted as a table or not? If it is formatted as a table, kindly unmute your mic and let me know. If it is not formatted as a table, unmute your mic and let us know. And you state reasons why you think it's formatted as a table or it is not formatted as a table. Please feel free to unmute your mic.
It's formatted as a table because the headers are highlighted, and then you can see, like, when you click on a cell within this data set, the table design table design option comes up on top there. So it means that that's a table, because if it wasn't, that option wouldn't be there.
Beautiful, fantastic. You've just gotten it. That's just it. That's how you know that your data set is formatted as a table. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Once you put your cursor on the table, you just click any cell in the table. This table design must come up. It's possible you have these colors, alternating themselves and it is not a table. But once you have it like this and you click, either it's even blank, there's no color alternating each other, and you can see this table design, then you know that your data set is formatted as a table. I'm going to convert this back to a normal range. That means I'm going to remove it from being a table. And all I need to do is just to go to convert to range. It will ask me the question, do you want to convert the table to a normal range? Yes, that's what I want to do. Can you see that you cannot see the table design option anymore on your bar? Can you drop a yes in the chat session if you notice that? That you can't see the table design option anymore, you know, on the tab here. That's telling you that this data set that we have is not formatted as a table at all. It is just a normal Excel sheet. It is not a table.
Okay. Can you go back to the process again?
Okay, I will use the sheet 2. I will. Yeah, sure, I will. I will use the sheet 2 as example. So look at my sheet 2. This is a table. When I click on a cell there, Anambra, you can see the table design option here. Can you see? When I come back to the one that is not a table, that is just a normal sheet, the table design option is not there. Even though they look alike.
Where is this table design option?
Look at it here. On sheet 2, I've gone back to my sheet 2 now because my sheet 2 is still formatted as a table. This is it here. This is a table design option. Yes, where my cursor is. Can you see my cursor? I'm hovering around it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's the last option on my bar. Then I come back to my sheet 1. You can see that it's no longer there. It's not there because this sheet is not a table. And you can see they look alike. They look very much alike. I've been wondering how come? So long as you don't see the table design, it is not formatted as a table. So how do I format this data set? All I need to do is just to place my cursor in any of the sheets or any of the cell rather, and then I click on Control T. My Control key and my T at the same time. And then to bring up a dialog box, it should have selected a data set for me, and then I say okay. Once I say okay, then it converts this to a table. You can see that the table design option is back because it is now in table format.
Sorry, I did the Control P and it wasn't giving me.
No, I said Control T, letter T, T for TT.
Oh, letter T, okay.
Yes, T for TT. All right, thank you. I will just drop it here in the chat session.
Are you going to select all the cells, all the tables?
No, don't select it. Just put your cursor in any cell there. Just place it in any of the cell.
And use Control T.
Yes, that's all.
Supposed to bring a dialog box. I'm not saying it.
You're not seeing a dialog box at all?
Yeah, I press it.
Try it again. You are pressing Control T together at the same time.
Oh,
I can't see a dialog box as well.
So what am I supposed to do?
Just click yes. When it asks you the question, you click OK or yes.
Control T together, right?
Yes, together.
If you're not seeing it, I think your table is still connected. It's
Okay, your table is already a table. Your Excel sheet that you have already is formatted as a table. So you won't see that Control T anymore because it's already a table. It's in table format already. What I did for my own data set, because I wanted to explain to the class, is that I changed it from being formatted. I converted it back to a normal sheet by going to my table design, and then I went to convert to range. You can see where my cursor is. Once I click on this, it converts it back to a normal sheet.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer a table. And that's why when I do Control T, I can take it back to the table format. I just click OK, that's all. And one of the reasons, or the major reason why we have to format our table, our data set as a table is because if you don't do that, any information you have written anywhere on this data set, on this sheet, is going to interfere with your analysis because Power BI is going to import all this information into Power BI. But once you tell Power BI, this is the table I want, this is the data set I want to work with, I formatted it as a table. When you're moving into Microsoft Power BI, it takes only the table. Every other information that you have on this sheet will not interfere with your analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some numbers here, and when we go on to Power BI, we're going to check if we can see this information on our sheet. Sorry, just a minute. I'm trying to pull away the chat box, even though I said I was not going to look at it. Okay, so let me leave it this way. So this table has been formatted already. So we can now look at it. Do we need to do any cleaning on these data sets? Can we just go through them? Let's see the states. Okay. Okay, our states are okay. Let's look at the number of confirmed cases. Okay, they are all in positive values. Number of cases on admission. We can see negative. Is it possible for us to have negative number of humans? This is not possible. So this might have been an error from maybe the data keying in. Maybe the person was keying in the information. So what we need to do now is to change it. So you can just remove the negative. Sorry. So this is part of data cleaning. So let's check again if we have any negative values.
Could you explain how you clean this? Because you were a bit fast there. We just.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to go back. Okay. So when I clicked on this drop down here, I was able to see that we have 2 negative values here. So what I did was I unchecked the select all because I just wanted to have my values that are in negative values. And then I checked the 2 items that have the negative values. That's the -9 and the -4. And I click on OK. Once I do that, it sorts or it filters it out. It filters the information out and gives me just the ones I have selected. Then I can go on to clean it. And then I also remove the negative. And then I can go back and say clear filter, or I can just go back to select all. But I prefer to use my clear filter. And then I have all the information back again.
Sorry,
So
excuse me.
Sorry, so
Yes.
does that mean that, sorry, so does that mean that once you take off the negative signs and you go back, those figures or data you've cleaned, they appear again in the total data? Is that it? That's one. Then 2, what if you have such a huge number, maybe more than 2 of such rows, you have them running in millions or thousands? How do you clear that one after the other?
You see, the truth of the matter is 80% of the job of a data analyst is data cleaning. Honestly, even me, I dread data cleaning. I don't look forward to it. I just want to come to work, my data has been cleaned, and somebody just said, me, Titi, carry out analysis on this data. As I don't have to do any cleaning, because data cleaning is where the job is. And that's why while you're in your organization, you can be the data champion by sitting down with maybe your team and having a standardized format of data, keying in process. Oh, if you are writing state affected, please ensure it's Abia we are writing. Don't put Abia State, because Abia and Abia State are 2 different things in Excel. It's going to see it as 2 different things. Adamawa and Adamawa State are 2 different things. FCT and Abuja, they are different. So if you're going to agree, when we are writing states in Nigeria, we will not use Abuja, we are going to use FCT. Honestly, when you have data sets that you have lots of negative, millions of data sets, you have to sit down. Either you look for a formula to use, or you have to do it one after the other. That is just it. There are no 2 ways about it. It can be very tasking, or best, what you can just do is you can just create another column, have your -1, -1, -1. Negative times negative gives you positive. So just create another column, have negative ones for the ones that are in negative, and then do use a formula, maybe column C times column F, and then it takes off the negative, and then you have your positive. That's another faster way you can do it. But if you have cases that you can't actually come up with a formula, or you can't come up with a way around it, my sister, you just have to sit down and do it one after the other. And that is what you can discuss with most data analysts. Everybody dreads data cleaning. Nobody likes data cleaning, because you can be doing data cleaning for days and just use maybe 2 hours for visualization and you're done. So data cleaning is the major work of a data analyst. And that's why it's always good when you're in an organization, you can just be the data champion to make life easy for you. Have a standardized way of keying in information. And then also, there's this formula or so that you can also use to lock information in your cell. So for example, if I don't want this cell to have, hello?
Yeah, Titi, thank you. Please, after removing the negative value from those figures, how did you go back to the normal data set?
Okay, you just clear the filter. Have you cleared the filter? So you can come back to the data set.
Okay.
You will see a funnel. All right,
okay.
Are you back?
Okay, I'm back. One thing again, number 11, on state affected, we have data states.
Okay.
And you were saying data state and data won't give us the same, same information. So how do you?
I agree with you.
Is that
so with this, now that's part of the data cleaning. So what you need to do now is that, we have two sheets now. Let's check the next sheet. Do we also have delta state on the next sheet? Okay, we have delta state on it. So what we can do to clean this data now is, let's check. It might not be only delta that has state on it. So you come here, drop down the arrow here, and then you can come to text filter.
We have Lagos state also.
Okay, so what we can do is, let's come to text filter. Let's isolate all the ones that have states. Go to text filter and then go to contains. So we are looking for all information that has states, and then you click on OK. You can see that it has brought it up for us. So we can just come here and then delete the states. Delete the state, and then you go back to your.
Please can you come again with the text filter?
Sorry, please take that again. Sorry.
I will go back to sheet 2. I'll do that on sheet 2. So you come to your drop down here. We don't really have so much time, so we can go to Power BI. You come to the drop down here, and then you come to text filters, and then you go to contains. That means you're trying to look for information that contains a certain text, which is state. So you just type in your state here, and you say, OK. And then you can remove the state. And then if you have millions of rows, instead of you deleting one after the other, I won't tell you what to do. Come for the main class of Italian. You will learn what to do in that class.
That's not fair.
Sorry.
That's very.
I'd like to ask,
But I was actually waiting for the answer to that question.
I would like to ask a question. Sorry.
Okay.
When you are doing the cleansing, can't you use replace, or it will not work?
Replace. You can use. You see, that's one of it, because we have gurus in this class already. Somebody has come up with one, replace. But there's another very simple one, very easy one. I will not tell you that one. When you come for the Italian Excel class, or you come for Power BI class, you will learn it there. So let me leave it at that. Hello.
I have another observation on my Excel sheet. Okay, so the states affected, the headings, there's something like a drop down column. Like you need to click on it. Like I'm trying to click mine and it's not really showing any drop down.
Did you convert it to range?
Okay, so now the way my Excel looks like, I have file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, help. Then I have something that looks like a bulb saying, tell me what you want to do. I don't have any other.
No,
I don't even have a
click a cell. Click a cell in your state affected. Just click a cell in your data sets.
Okay.
Do you have table design showing at the end? No. Then so click on Control T.
Okay, I tried that. It has just been rolling and it's not showing anything.
Honestly, I don't know what's wrong. It should drop down. You should have a drop down like this, except if it is not formatted as a table, then you won't have.
Share her screen now so that we can help her from there.
It's because of time. I'm looking at the time. We've not gone to Power BI, and we have less than 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Let's wait for the Excel class. Let's move to Power BI.
So please, let's go. All right. Please kindly mute your mic if you have background sound coming out from it. Please kindly mute your mic. Thank you. So we are done with the data cleaning here. Even though this data cleaning we've done is just is very small. Imagine you're working with thousands of rows. You might end up spending like days on it. But the more you do data cleaning, the more you become proficient on it, the more you know tools or formulas to use to help you clean your data very fast. So now I'm going to click on save. I'm going to close my data sets. Please, you can close your data sets. And then we'll come to Excel workbook here. I want to connect to my Excel.
Hello,
I click here. Yes.
Sorry, I want to make a point on assumption I'm making. I mean, I'm just thinking that this data cleansing we did now, right? I want to make a point about consistency. If we did not touch it, if both sheets were containing Lagos and we didn't cleanse it, I'm assuming it's not affect whatever we are doing, right?
Okay, well, for this data set that we have, because we had Lagos State on sheet 1 and Lagos State on sheet 2, it won't affect each other. But when we have Lagos on one sheet and then we have Lagos State on the other sheet, they will not connect with each other.
Exactly. Thank you.
But it's because they are both Lagos State, and I just wanted to show us how we can do text cleaning. That's why I cleaned it. On a normal day, I won't even clean it. I'll just leave it because it's both Lagos State, Delta State, the same thing on the other sheets. So it won't affect it at all.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, you're welcome.
So I have a question. So this simply means there are little things like this that bring about accuracy in results. Is that
yes.
it? If your data is corrupt.
Yeah, absolutely right. Very minute things that you won't even expect will give inaccuracy in your data. Even as little as you not formatting your data set as a table can have serious impact on your analysis.
Hello, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, where you have a bulk of data, how do you identify where there are differences?
Okay, now that's why the number one thing you have to do is to understand your data set.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, now I'm working with a bank statement. I need to know the credit, I need to know the debit part of it, and then I begin to look at it. So if on credit side, I'm seeing negative values, then I know there's an error. Am I right? Or if I'm seeing maybe the person's salary being credited twice into the person's account, then I know there's an error. So you need to know the data set you're working with to know when there are errors there. You know what you don't know? You don't know if there's an error or not. So there's a need for you to sit down to understand the data set, ask questions from the person you want to analyze for before you can begin data cleaning. It's very important that you understand your data sets before you embark on any cleaning activity. Or else you might even go and clean off the right thing. So understanding of your data set is very key in any analysis you want to do. You know, why we are able to identify our data sets that negative value is not supposed to be there is because humans cannot be in negative value. And that's how we knew that was wrong, because we knew what we are working with. So now we'll be going on to connecting Power BI to our Excel. So I'll just click on Excel workbook here.
I don't know if you're hearing me. I don't know if I can ask my question now.
You can ask your question 1 minute.
Okay, yeah.
Please,
yeah,
sorry,
so I'm
sorry, everybody. Can we please leave this question part to after we are?
Yeah, but this is actually
there will be
important.
session where we can all ask questions.
Yeah,
because we have less than 40 minutes to go for this class. We've not really learned anything.
Okay, I just
I
wanted
think
to
we
add
should be considering it.
the column where we have the negative. Are we deleting everything on the rows or just that particular column?
Remove the negative. Just remove the negative from 4 and 9 and leave it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go to the Excel. Yeah, you're welcome. We go to the Excel workbook, and then you go to where you have saved your Excel. It's on your desktop. Wherever you have it saved, just connect with it, and then you double click. It will take a few seconds. Now, can we notice that we have 4 items here, but we actually have 2 tables that we're working on. Now you can say we have table 2, table 3, we have sheet 1, and we have sheet 2. How did you come about 4 items here? What this means is that Power BI is seeing your table because we have formatted our data set as table, and then it's also seeing the entire sheet. So I'm going to click on the entire sheet. So if you do not format your data sets, you will not have these 2 options at the top. What you will have is these 2 options below. And then I'm going to scroll. Can you see the information I keyed in?
Sorry, my own table says table 3, table 4, sheet 1, sheet 2. Is there anything wrong?
No, it's fine. No problem.
Okay.
It's fine. So if you look at this side, you can see that, I was trying to explain the reason why we have to format our table. And then I keyed in some information. I said I was going to show it to us in Power BI. You can see these are the information I've keyed in. This information is going to interfere with your table when you're analyzing your data. And that's the reason why you have to, please kindly mute your mic. That's the reason why you have to, format your table. Now I'm going to click on the formatted table and then we'll see the difference. When I scroll to the end, you will realize that those information are not visible anymore because Power BI is connecting directly to the table I have formatted. And then I'll click on the next table. When I do that, we have load, we have transform data, and then we have cancel. We'll be clicking on load. Transform data is an advanced class where you have to work with Power Query. So that cleaning that we did on Excel, you can do it on transform data using your Power Query in Power BI. But that's class for another day. So I'm going to click on load data. And then it's going to load the data directly to our Power BI desktop. And we're going to see it under the fields. You can see that my fields is already graying out, showing that something is coming in where my cursor is moving.
Sorry, mine is not loading. It's not highlighted.
It's going to load. You see, mine just appeared now. It takes, a little time. It takes a while for it to appear. I'm sure we all have it. If you have the data set on your field where my cursor is moving, kindly drop a yes in the chat session. If you have these two tables, it will just take a few seconds to load. Okay, that means we are all on the same page. Beautiful. So now I said I was going to show us the data sets, the data option. So you can see it here. The same way you have it on Excel is what you have here. I'm going to click on this as well. The same information you have in Excel is what you have here. Then I'll quickly go to data modeling. You can see that a relationship has been created already for us because Power BI can see that these two tables have something in common. And what is that they have in common? Just put your cursor on it and then you can see state affected. They both have that information in common and is unique to both tables. So a relationship has already been created for us. That means these two tables can interact with each other. We'll come back to this data modeling again for us to see the impact of data modeling on our analysis. So let's just quickly move on. We have less time. So now we want to know the total number of, let's say maybe total number of people discharged, number of cases. We want to have it highlighted maybe in a single information. All I need to do is just to click on this. You will see an icon under your visualization that has 1, 2, 3. It is called the card visual. Just click on it and then it will appear on your screen. Once it appears, you go to your field and you select the information you want to visualize. You can just drag it and move it into the box. That's all. Very easy, straightforward. No formula. You don't have to write any formula. Nothing like sum, addition. Power BI does that for you on its own automatically at the back end. So we can see that the total number of confirmed cases that we have as of yesterday is 190,000. But this 190K you are seeing here is an approximated value. So for us to know the actual figure, what we can do is to come to this paintbrush. It is called the format tool. This is where you carry out your formatting. And then you click on the format brush. And then you scroll. You see your data label. You drop it down. Your data label means the information on the data, on the visual. You can scroll down. You can see display unit says auto. I don't want it to be approximated. I want to see the exact figure the way it is. So I can click on none. And then you can see that we have actually 189,715 lab confirmed cases as at yesterday. You can work on your decimal value, but this data set is not in decimal places, so we cannot use it. There's no point using this. You can increase your font size, just the way you increase your font size in Microsoft Word. So I'll be increasing this font size just for explanation purpose. You can see that the size is increasing. And then you can also change the font type. Let me use the Arial Black. You can see that it has changed. You can also change the color. Or let me use green, since you're working with Nigeria. You can ask for more colors. You can see that green is not on this template. So you can go to more colors to get more colors. And then you just select on the green shade, and then you have green color. You can pick the shade of green you want. Is it darker green shade? Is it a lighter green shade you want? So you can pick the shade that you want by moving this circle around. I like this tone of green. So can we see this? So it's just as simple as that. For those that are asking me to come again, I'm going to use another example, which is the total number of discharge cases to do this analysis again. So now all you need to do again is just go to your card visual, select on the card. It will appear on your screen. Then go to your field and select the information you want on your field. You can either drag it and drop inside your visual, or you can just check the box. I want to uncheck it. Or you can just check the box and then the information appears on your screen and then you can see it on your screen. You can also do the same thing that you have done to this visual to this as well by coming to the Format tool brush here. This brush here, this thing looking like a painter's brush, is the Format tool that you use in carrying out formatting activities or things on your visual. So we come to the data label. That was the first thing that we did. You can change the color. Let me use another color. No, okay, yeah, it's bright enough. We can all see that. You can also change the size. Let's say maybe to 60 from 45. You can also change the font type. Let's look for something cursive, if there is any. I guess Cosmic Sans is the closest to that, okay. So we can see that the font has changed. And then we can change it from auto. We don't want it to be estimated value. We want the actual value. So you can click on none, and then you have your value here on the screen. Because someone is asking, can we add more than one visual in the box? No, you cannot add more than one visual to this kind, one information to this box. This card visual can only view one information. So for example, if I want to see maybe information for number of discharge, number of cases, lab confirmed, number of cases on admission, I want to see number of deaths, I will not use card visual. Card visual can only view information for one item. You can't have two informations viewed on your card visual. You can have just one item per time. And then also you can create a border around your visual. We'll go back to the Format tool brush again. I'll click on it. And then I'm going to close the data label option here so I can have space for others. I will scroll down. You can see border. I can create a border for it. Let me uncheck. You can see the difference, this and this. This has a border around it and this does not have. I can do something else again. You can create a shadow effect. So the shadow effect, I'm going to put it on this one that doesn't have the border so we can see it properly. I'll scroll down and then go to shadow. I'll click on my shadow and then can we see the difference that this has a shadow effect and this does not have a shadow effect, but rather this has a border. So it depends on what you're trying to visualize. It depends on what you're trying to come up with. At the end of this class, I'm going to show us a visual that I did using this NCDC data, and then you're going to see the final output. So you can also try that on your own, at your spare time. Oh, somebody said I'm too fast. So I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the time. That's why. Emmanuel Adebisi, my apologies. This is a master class. Honestly, you cannot take data analysis in 2 hours. You cannot do that. It's a class of 2, 3, 4, 5 days. My apologies. I'm trying to rush up so that I'm able to cover a lot. So where are you lost? Do you need me to go back on anything? Emmanuel Adebisi. Okay, if you're not responding, I will just go on. But please, if you're following, kindly drop a yes in the chat session, because the most important thing for me in this class is for you to follow the class. So please, if you're not following me, let me know if you need me to go back, but just know that we won't be able to cover a lot of things if I have to keep going back on the class. Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to bring out another visual again, which is still the same card visual. Yeah. Let me create more space. So this is the card visual here. And I'm going to select, okay, we've done number of discharge. Okay, let's look at the number of deaths. I'll click on the number of deaths. We have 2,298,000 people have died from COVID as at yesterday when the data was pulled. Now, instead of me carrying out this activity on this all over again by going to my paintbrush, there's one simple thing I can do. All I need to do is just to click on this. If this is the way I want this data set here to look like, all I need to do is just to click on this, and then I come up here. Can you see where my cursor is? It has dropped down an information, format painter. I click on it, and then I come to my card visual here, and I click, and then you can see I have the same thing. So you can copy features from one visual to the other using your format painter. So you can see that I didn't have to go through the process of coming to my paint brush here, my format tool, and then changing the figure over and over again. I didn't have to do that. And then also there's something else you can do as well. I'm not going to take all the information under the format. There are things you can actually learn on your own, or you attend the Italian class to have more knowledge about it. I'll come to category. I'm going to drop down category. You can change the color of your category. Let me change this to green. This number discharged is what you call category. So you can see I've changed the color. I can also increase the font size. Let me increase it to 20. You can see that the size has increased. You can also change the font size as well if you want to. So I'm going to close this. Then you can also give your visual, the card visual, a title, but oftentimes card visuals, title are really not needed for card visual. So I can just give title of number discharged. So can we see that at the top here? And then you can also change the color. Let me use green. No, okay, green, fine. You can also change the background. Let's say, let me use a light gray color for the background. You can also align it either to the middle or to left or right. You can also increase the font size. Let me make this 20. Can we see that? So there are lots of things you can do to this visual. It all depends on what you're trying to visualize. And that's where your own also creativity and your analytical skills also come in. Then there's something we call the tooltip. You can see that as my cursor is on this, nothing is really showing. So I'm going to click on my tooltip here. And then I come back here. Can you notice that you can see number discharged now? That's what you call tooltip. So for example, when you are presenting before your team or before management, and you want them to be able to also follow and see the information you are on, you can just activate your tooltip here. This is it here where my cursor is. And then once you do that and you come here, you will see the information. I'm going to go to the ones that don't have the tooltip. Can you see? It's just showing very lightly. It's not as conspicuous as this. You can also change the color of your tooltip. You can do that on your own when you get home. Just drop down the arrow by the side of the tooltip, and then you can change the color to the color that you want. You can change the background color maybe to black or to gray or to green, whatever color you have. And then the way I formatted this, I can also, this same formatting I've done here, I can take it here. So who can tell me how to do that? You can unmute yourself. If I want this information I have here, I want this card visual to look exactly like this. What do I do to copy that effect to this visual here? Please, you can unmute yourself to let us know what to do. Or you can drop it in the chat session. I don't know if everyone has been muted. I don't want to be the only one speaking. I want to be sure that we're all following. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, beautiful. I can see that we are following. So all I need to do is just to click on this visual. I go to my format painter, I click on it, and then I click on the visual I want to, give to it. If you notice something, this number discharge did not come here. So it's actually not all the information here. Most times it's just the aesthetics, the coloring, the size of the fonts, the change of fonts that you can actually copy. Just aesthetics, not all the information, but at least it makes it faster and easier. What this means is now is that all I need to do here is just click on this and then come to my title, and then give it a title. And then I can just have number of deaths. Because if you will agree with me, this information here is for number of deaths and not for number discharge. So it won't copy this information. So bear in mind that it's not everything the format painter copies. Most times it's just the aesthetics that it copies, the color change, the size change, the font change. So now we're going to move on to visualizing using the stacked column charts. So we'll click on this, and then I will widen this for those using mobile devices to be able to see it properly. So now I want us to visualize on one page the total number of discharge, number of confirmed on admission, and also deaths. So all I need to do is just to click this box, or you can drag and drop it if you want. You can click the box and then you can see it appearing on the screen. Can we see that? But this visual, I actually don't like this. So I'm going to use the other type, which is the clustered column chart. So they can all stand side by side. So now I'm going to put my data labels by going to my format, and then I scroll down and then click on data labels. So you can see this. If you also notice that the data label is also approximated, I don't want that. I want to see the actual thing. I just come to my display units, drop it down, and then click on none. And then you have the actual values. So can you see that? You can also change your data colors. So let's assume I don't want the number discharge to be in blue. I want the number discharge to be in green. You can do that. Let's assume I want the number of deaths to be in red. You can also do that. Just click on red. Because it's actually quite small here, you might not notice that change in color. So there are a whole lot of things you can do under your formats. So at your spare time, you can just try your hands on the format here. You can see we already have a title here. It has given us number discharge, number of cases, but do we want this title? I don't think this title is appropriate. So what we can just do is just delete the title that we have and then have maybe summary of NCDC COVID-19 cases. You can also centralize it if you want. The same thing you can do to other visuals. You can also do similar things to some other visuals as well. You can take it to the right if you want, but I would like it to be in the center. You can also increase the font size if you want to. So we have just 20 more minutes. I will try to rush up on a few things. So I made it bolder so that those using their mobile device can actually see it very well. So there are a whole lot of things that you can do. You can also create, have a border for this as well. Let me uncheck it so you can see the border. You can see the border line around it. I'm going to reduce this. You can also open a new page by going beside your page 1 and clicking the plus sign to create a new page. So you can see I have page 2 now. All you need to do is just click on the plus sign beside your page 1 and a new page will be created for you. Now I want us to visualize the states affected using the map. And then I'll click on states affected. And then I click on, so this is it here. Let me make it bigger. So these are the states affected. So let's see by the number of confirmed cases. So from what we can see here, we can see that we have a big ball here. This is Lagos State, telling us that Lagos State has the highest number of confirmed cases. So this is how the map visual works. You can also do some formatting of the map visual if you want. You can try your hands on that formatting when you get home. You can format the bubbles. You can increase the size of your bubble. You can reduce the size if you want. You can do a whole lot to it. You can change your data colors. Maybe from blue, we can change it to red. A whole lot of things you can do on your map visual. So this is a map visual for states affected by the total number of lab confirmed cases. You can also move the map around and just adjust it inside the box. So I want to believe we are all together and we are all at this point together. So you can see that data analysis using Power BI is actually quite easy. It's not difficult. Just see it as you learning how to use Excel. That's the way it is. See it as you learning how to use a tool, Microsoft Word, how to use PowerPoint. The same way it's Power BI. You're just learning how to use the tool. So now we want to see the total number of cases by the geopolitical zones. So I'm going to click on this visual here. I'll bring it up here and make it bolder so we can all see it properly. And then I click on zones. And then I click on number of cases. So can we see? And then I'll go and activate my data label so we can all see the total number. And then I don't want it to be approximated. We should be used to this one by now, how to change it from approximation to normal values. So this is it here. So we can see that Southwest has the highest number of cases, followed by North Central, South South, Northwest, Southeast, and Northeast. So now I'm going to go back to my model. I'm going to remove the relationship between these two tables so that we can see the impacts. I'm deleting the relationship. And then I come back to my visual. Can we see what happened here? The two tables can no longer communicate. And that's why you can see you cannot have the right information. It's telling you that North Central, that they all have the same value. of 189,715 is what is showing you for all the zones, which is not true and it is not correct. So for us to be able to allow the two tables interact with themselves, have accurate information, a relationship must be created using their unique values, which is common to both of them. So I'll come back to my model and then I will create my relationship back by dragging state affected back to, state affected on table 3. And then the relationship is back. And then I can come back to my visuals and you can see the correct figure. So that's how relationship is affected. So I want to believe that we're all fine and we are all on this page. And I want to believe that we can all go back home in our spare time to create something, out of these data sets. For your map visual, I'll just go through it again. For those asking for map visual, I'll create another page, page 3, and then I'll just come to your map. This is it here. The map is that sign that has like the globe. You click on the globe, you click on your state affected, and then you click on any information you want to visualize. Is it number of deaths you want to look at? Let's look at the number of deaths. This is it here. That's all. It's as simple as that. I'm going to show us a visual that I created using these data sets. But the only difference is that I connected to the web directly. I didn't connect to Excel. I connected to the NCDC website. I hope I saved it. Apologies, please. Let me look for it. I'm not sure I saved it, but I pray I did so that we can see. Okay, I guess I did. You can also go back home and create something like that. It's just a few minutes, it's coming up. Just a few minutes, yeah, it's up. So, kindly drop a yes if you can see my screen, showing the NCDC COVID-19 update. All right, thank you so much for the confirmation, thank you. So this is what I created, but for this, I actually didn't connect to Excel. I connected to the website because I want to be able to refresh on a daily basis and see an updated figure. The record as of today, and that's why I connected to the web directly. This is another one. It's the same thing, just different layouts. The map is coming up. It takes a while for the map to come up. Yeah, this is the map. Remember that when I was showing us the overview of the PowerBI Desktop, I showed us how to import logo or image, which is what I did here. You go to your insert and you click on your image and then you go and pick it up wherever you saved it. I click on the image. I'll just do a quick run through of that. I have my logos saved somewhere and then I pick, okay, let me take the coat of arm. You can see it here. That's how you bring in your logo and then you can have it, on your dashboard. So the way this is now, I'm going to refresh this data. Take note of the values that we have. We have 169, 189, 17, 2000. I'll click on refresh so we can have updated information as of today. So what is going to happen is that PowerBI is going to go and connect with NCDC websites because I connected to the web directly and not to Excel. And then it will give us an updated figure as at now as we are speaking. That is if there are new cases, it will update it. If there are if we don't have new cases, then it remains the way it is. It takes a while to refresh. So let's just give it one minute. We have 10 minutes to the end of this class. So can we see that the figures changed? Before the first one, number of discharge, we had 169,629. As of today now, we have 169,815. So it's real-time online. So wherever your information is stored, why I brought this up is for us to know that it's not just only Excel. Wherever your information is stored, is it in the cloud? Is it in SharePoint? Is it in Access? Is it in Microsoft SQL, MySQL? Wherever it is, Power BI can connect to it. And for me, I actually love to connect to the web. Abiola, back in, you're asking, how do you connect to the web? You have to come to the Italian class to learn that. I can't teach that on a master class. It's it's quite simple, but it's not something I can take in 2 hours master class. So come join us. Nathaniel, you're saying, Me too, I say, Joshua, you're laughing out loud. Please don't laugh. Come to the Italian class. And I'm also a proud alumni of the Italian. I attended the Italian class September 2019, and it's been an amazing time. Yes, Oluwaseun, you can work directly. What you are saying here, I work directly with the sets from the data sets from NCDC website directly. I connected to the site directly. You need internet connection for your map. Yes, map visual, you need internet connection. To connect to the web, you need internet connection. So thank you so much. We have come to the end of this masterclass. Please go back home, try all that you have learned. One thing with data analysis is that if you don't try your hands on it, you will not remember, you would forget. You have to do it over and over and over again to be able to master it. The table here. It came in directly. So you can see that from the web, I don't have the zones because on their website, they don't have the zones at all. That's why we don't have the zone here. So thank you so much. I hope this class was worth your time. At the end of the day, over to you, Daniel. Pamusa says I'm a guru now. That's lovely. I love that. Daniel, over to you, please. So now I'm going to turn on my video. So you can see the face of the person speaking to you since. So this is my face. This is my real face. Hi, everyone.
Hi, thank you very much. We're grateful. So how do we attend the real class? I've learned a lot, but I'll still need to, practice more.
All right, so I'm going to answer that all right, before we thank you so much, Titi, for this wonderful session. It's been really insightful. With my little, I was able to learn more. Like, even to get to know about COVID. All right, thank you so much, Titi, for this wonderful session. It's been a great one, very insightful, I must say. Even my little of Power BI, I've been able to learn more, even with COVID-19 information as well. I never knew we had over 2,000 plus days on that today. All right, thank you so much, Titi, for this wonderful session. All right, so right now, we just know how your experience has been so far. So on your screen. If you can see the class experience question, kindly answer them and drop a yes when you are done answering, please.
And then also, Daniel, one thing I want to acknowledge the presence of my baby sister. Thank you for joining and giving me moral support all the way from UK. I love you. God bless you. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. I love you all.
All right, please kindly attempt the class experience question before we move on with the announcement, please. All right, I can see if you have answered the class experience question, we're going to be giving out a class quiz, just some 5-6 questions to make sure that we've learned something today, to refresh our memory of what we've learned today. It's a very short quiz. We need to like be sure that we've learned something today and just to refresh our minds. Okay, so the class quiz is coming up soon. Okay. If you can see the final questions, kindly answer the questions and drop a yes when you're done answering. Dolakwa is asking, I want to learn more. What is the next step and how can I get certified? Don't worry, I have so many announcements to make. And also, like I said earlier on, I have some special offers for some people here. So just stick with us and follow through. If you are done answering the final question, just drop a yes in the chat box, please. Okay, for those of us asking for the recordings of the class, you can get the recordings on our YouTube channel. For those who didn't follow through, who came in late, and maybe who had network issues and likes, you can just go to YouTube and get the videos of today's class on YouTube.
I'm seeing some answers to the questions. Okay, while we still take on the questions from the poll, I would like to make some few announcements before we end the session. Okay. All right. I'm very sure many of us have questions. We have been asking how we can get to learn more from the main class. So I'd like to inform you that the main class is going to be starting next month. So we have what we call the combo package. The combo package covers Microsoft Power BI, SQL, Microsoft Excel. Then we also have 2 modes of learning. You can learn physically or you can learn virtually. All right. So we have the physical option, which goes for 50,000 naira, and the virtual option goes for 45,000 naira. And in these 2 options, the Microsoft Excel class is strictly online. Okay. So either you're paying for the physical option or the virtual option, just know that the Microsoft Excel class is going to be online irrespective. All right, so like I said earlier, we have some special offers, and I'm sure many of us would like to key into this. So we're going to be giving out discounts for the first 5 people to make payments today. So if you're going to make payment for the combo class, we're going to be giving a discount 2,500 off, right? So if you're paying for the virtual option, you're going to be paying 42,500 naira. But if you're paying for the physical option, you're going to be paying 47,500 naira. So it's just for 5 people. First 5 people to message me on WhatsApp and make payments and also show proof of payment to get this discount. Okay. So we'd like to take some few questions from the house before we wrap up the session. I don't know if there are any more questions from some of us here. If you have any questions, just kindly unmute yourself and feel free to ask, please.
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Samuel.
Yes. Please, I want to ask.
Okay.
Is it based on what we have learned, or about the D'Artagnan package? Which one can we ask question on?
Anything at all, any question at all from what you've learned.
All right. When I wanted to make use of that map, even when I connected online, I wasn't seeing the Nigerian map. What happened?
Titi, you're muted, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. All right, are you sure you're clicking on the right map visual? We have about 3 different types of map visuals. The one that looks like the globe.
Yes.
That's what you clicked on?
Yes.
And what did you click on? Did you click on states or you clicked on the values? You have to click on states affected.
I clicked on.
You clicked on states affected and it still didn't come up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my number is...
Okay.
Okay, go on. The what? What happened?
What I'm saying is that the Nigerian map did not display.
And that's what I'm saying. I really can't explain why it didn't display. It should display, but it's not something we can handle here now because it's 11 o'clock already. I'm on the group chats. Just search for me and then we can take it off from there.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Titi, for that clarification. Do we have any more questions, please? If you have any questions at all, now is the right time to ask any questions you have.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please shoot.
Yes. Titi, thank you for that wonderful class. However, up to now, my Excel refused to load. Though I was able to follow through to the end, but I couldn't proceed practically beyond uploading my Excel. I don't know what happened.
I really can't explain as well. Just chat me up at the end of the class.
Great.
It might just be some technical issues.
It's okay.
So we can look at it together. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. Any more questions, please?
Precious is raising up her hand. Maybe you might need to unmute her.
Okay. Precious, can you unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me? All right. Please, where is your office located? I would like to visit. I'm interested, and I will need to know something before I make payments.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Bidi, for that question. All right, so we have our office located in Yaba, Lagos. We also have another office located on the island in Lekki Phase 1.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any more questions before we end the session, please?
I have a question. Good morning.
All right, please shoot.
Yeah, so I registered for the September class, so I just want to know.
Okay.
Are we going to have a bit of Excel because I noticed that things you have to know in Excel for you to be able to import your data, cleaning, just it. I just wanted to know if there will be some touch around. Although I use Excel, but I just want to know if there will be some touch in it as
Okay,
well.
please, Damilola, what course did you register for, please? Is it just the beginners class with Power BI and SQL?
Yes, the beginners class.
Okay, for that course, Excel won't be treated. It's just mainly Power BI and SQL. Okay.
Okay.
However, like I mentioned earlier, we have the combo package which covers SQL, Power BI, and Excel, which the discount is on right now.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions, please?
Sorry, Daniel, you gave me location. I needed an address, please. You gave me a location. You told me Yaba Lagos. I can't start looking for you guys in Yaba Lagos or in Lake Phase 1.
Okay. Address. I will forward the address to you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Welcome. All right, everyone. If there are no more questions, I think we should just wrap up this wonderful session so far. Okay, like I mentioned earlier on, we have a discount as well for the combo package, which covers Microsoft Excel, SQL, and Power BI. So for the fiscal option, which is 50,000, the first 5 people to message me on WhatsApp to make payments be getting to pay for 7,500. Then for the voucher option, instead of paying for 5,000, you'll be paying for 2,500. And remember, this discount is for the first 5 people to message me on WhatsApp and make payments. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I think it's a good time to end this session. Thank you so much, everyone.
It's a question. I don't know if I can still ask.
Yeah, sure. You can ask, please.
Okay, I'm just curious that how can we link all of these with GIS?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly, Oluwaseun.
Like, how can we link these with GIS? That's the Geographic Information System. Can there be any form of link?
How can we link
these with GIS, Geographic Information System?
Okay, how you can link?
Hello, can you hear me clearly now?
Okay, I think that question is meant for the facilitator, right?
Exactly.
Okay, Tisi, did you get the question, please?
Yeah, I got his question. You can actually link it. The option is there. Let me just quickly, 1 minute. Can you see my screen? This is it here.
I can
this
see
is the option. Yeah, this is the option here.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so you can do that. But it's not for this. It's not. It's an advanced class.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. And just to add, we also have other classes and courses as well. For those of us in HR field, we have the strategic HR analysis classes starting next week. We have the business analysis classes, which we hold concurrently, and we also have the intermediate class. But just go to our website, www.datalum.com, to check on our courses and register for the one you would like to take. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for coming around today. It's been a wonderful session, around. And thank you as well, Titi, for being a wonderful facilitator for today. So with this, we've come to the end of today's session, and do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you.